It was a cold evening in the city. The streets were crowded, but no one really looked at anyone. Everyone was busy, rushing home, talking on phones, lost in their world. Expensive cars passed by, loud horns echoed, and neon lights flashed above shops. But among all this noise, one man walked quietly. Ayan Malik, a billionaire CEO, only 32 years old, but already one of the richest men in the country. Ayan wore a black coat and leather gloves. His shoes were shining. His watch cost more than most people earned in a year. People often said he had everything: money, power, fame. But Ayan felt empty inside. After his parents died in a plane crash 10 years ago, Ayan changed. He built a business empire alone, but his heart stayed locked. He smiled in meetings, shook hands with big names, and gave interviews. But deep inside, he didn't trust anyone. Everyone around him wanted something: money, deals, gifts. He had no real friends, no family, no peace. Tonight, he left the office late. His driver offered to take him home, but Ayan refused. He wanted to walk. The cold wind touched his face. For some reason, it felt good. He walked past food stalls, ignoring the smells and voices, but then he stopped. On the corner of a narrow lane next to an old food stall sat a small girl. She looked no older than 7 or 8. Her clothes were torn, her hair messy, and her face pale. She had no shoes. Her little feet were dirty, almost blue from the cold. She didn't say anything. She just sat there, her big eyes fixed on the food plates people left behind. People passed by, not noticing her. Some even pushed her aside. But she didn't react. She simply stared at a plate that had half a piece of bread left. Something hit Ayan's heart. He didn't understand it. He had seen beggars before. Poor people were everywhere. But this girl, something about her was different. She wasn't asking for money or food. She wasn't crying. She just sat still, like she was used to being ignored. Ayan looked at her for a moment, then walked to the food stall. "One fresh plate of biryani," he said. The man at the stall looked surprised. "For you, sir?" "No. For her." Ayan pointed to the girl. The vendor looked at the girl, then quickly prepared a hot plate. Ayan took the plate and slowly walked to the girl. He bent down and placed it in front of her. "Eat," he said softly. The girl slowly looked up at him. Her eyes were dark and filled with something he couldn't name. Pain, hunger, maybe even fear. But she didn't speak. "It's okay. It's fresh," Ayan added. She gently touched the plate, then looked at him again. She took the spoon in, her shaky hands. Ayan watched as she brought the first bite to her mouth, but just before eating she looked at him and said something in a soft, broken voice. "You look like my father. But he died." Ayan froze. For a moment he didn't know what to say or do. He felt the air leave his lungs. His mind went blank. That voice, those eyes, those words, they hit him like thunder. A storm of emotions rose inside him. He wanted to ask her so many things, but his lips couldn't move. She didn't seem to notice his reaction. She just ate quietly, like she hadn't eaten in days. Each bite was slow, careful, like she didn't want to waste it. Ayan stood there, staring at her. His heart was beating faster than ever. Why did she say that? Did she really mean it? Or was it just something she said for food? But no, there was no begging in her tone, no lies in her eyes. He wanted to ask her name, where she lived, who her family was. But he couldn't speak. He just stood in the middle of the street, in the middle of the cold wind, watching a little girl eat. And for the first time in years, he felt something real. But what he didn't know was, this girl wasn't just another hungry child. She was connected to his life in a way that would change everything. Ayan couldn't sleep that night. Even though he returned to his luxury apartment with soft pillows and warm lights, his heart stayed cold. The image of that little girl, barefoot, thin and lonely, kept flashing in his mind. Her words echoed in his ears. "You look like my father. But he died." What did she mean? Was it just a random thing she said? Or was there more? He didn't know why, but he had to find out. The next morning, without informing his assistant or driver, Ayan wore casual clothes and returned to the same street. It was early. The city was just waking up. Shops were still closed. The same food stall was there, but the little girl was not. Ayan looked around, feeling nervous for the first time in years. He asked the vendor, "The girl, the small one, I gave food to last night. Do you know where she went?" The vendor shrugged. "Sir, there are many kids like her. They come and go. I saw her walking toward the old railway quarters early in the morning." Without thinking twice, Ayan walked. In that direction, the railway quarters were nothing like the city he was used to. Broken huts, trash on the streets, kids without shoes, people living under plastic sheets. His expensive perfume and watch didn't belong here. But still, he kept going, asking quietly, "Did anyone see a little girl, short hair, dirty dress?" "One." Boy finally pointed. "She sleeps near the big green dumpster, behind that broken wall." Ayan followed the directions and stopped. There, under a torn blue blanket, sat the same little girl. She was trying to fix an old slipper with a wire. She looked up and saw him. Her eyes widened, surprised, but not scared. "You came back?" she asked softly. Ayan slowly walked toward her and sat down, careful not to scare her. "What's your name?" he asked. The girl hesitated, then said, I don't remember." "What do people call you?" "Some call me Choti. Some call me nothing." He felt a sharp pain in his chest. "No parents?" "My mother died 2 weeks ago," she whispered. "I buried her myself, near the tracks." Ayan froze. "What about your father?" She shook her head. "Don't know. Mama said he went far away." He watched her carefully. Her eyes, her face. Something about her was so familiar, but he couldn't place it. Then he noticed, around her neck, hanging on a string, was a small pendant. It looked old, like something expensive once, but now covered in dust. He asked, "Can I see your locket?" She touched it protectively. "Mama said never take it off." "I won't take it. Just want to see." She held it out. Ayan gently wiped the dirt and turned it around. His hands trembled. Inside the locket was a tiny photo. His father, the same man whose face he saw every day in his mansion. The same father who had died in the plane crash years ago. Or so he believed. Ayan's heart stopped. He looked at the girl again. That same nose, the same eyes. Who was this child? Before he could ask more, a loud voice shouted from behind. "Hey, what are you doing with that girl?" A rough man appeared, dirty and angry. "She's mine. I feed her. You rich people stay away." Ayan stood up quickly. "Who are you?" "I'd take care of her," the man lied. "She's mine now. You want to take her? Pay money." The girl's face turned pale. She whispered, "He beats me when I don't beg." Ayan felt rage building inside him. "You touch her again and I'll make sure you disappear," he said coldly. The man stepped back. He could feel Ayan wasn't just anyone. Ayan took the girl's hand. "You're coming with me," he said gently. She looked scared. But what if he follows? He won't. He picked her up in his arms. She felt so light, so fragile, like she hadn't eaten properly in weeks. As he walked back to the main road, the girl's head rested on his shoulder. And in that moment, Ayan made a silent promise to himself. "I don't know who she is. I don't know where she came from, but I will protect her. I will find the truth, even if it breaks me." Ayan brought the little girl to his apartment, a place of glass walls, shining lights, and quiet halls. But for the first time, the house didn't feel empty. She looked around with wide eyes as if she had stepped into a dream. Marble floors, golden lights, soft couches. It was a world she had never seen. "What do you want to eat?" Ayan asked softly. The girl didn't speak. She just looked at the floor. "You can eat anything. Pizza, noodles, ice cream." "I just want roti and dal," she said in a low voice. His heart broke a little more. He asked his cook to make simple food for her, and she ate quietly. Every bite was slow, almost like she was afraid it might be her last. Ayan sat across from her, watching her carefully. He asked again, "Do you remember your full name?" She shook her head. "Mama just called me Gudia." "What about your mother? Did she ever tell you about your father?" Gudia nodded. "She said he was rich and kind, but he left us." "Left you?" she said. "He didn't know I was born." She didn't want to disturb his life. Ayan's mind was spinning. He stood up and went to his room. In a drawer, he pulled out an old album, one he hadn't touched in years. Inside were photos of his father, his childhood, and one woman. He looked at the photo of his father standing with a woman who worked in their house years ago. Her name was Rani. She was a servant in their mansion when Ayan was a teenager. She disappeared one day after his father's death. He rushed back to Gudia. He showed her the photo of Rani. Gudia's eyes filled with tears. "That's my mama." The world around Ayan froze. "This girl is my sister," he whispered to himself. "My father had a second family and never told anyone." Suddenly all the pieces fit. His father was kind, but secretive. Maybe he loved Rani but couldn't bring her into the rich world. And after his death, no one took care of her. She must have struggled alone for years, and now her daughter, his sister, was sitting in his house, eating food like it was a blessing. Ayan felt guilt. So much guilt. All these years he lived with everything, and they had nothing. He looked at Gudia. She smiled for the first time. A shy, small smile. He smiled back, but tears filled his eyes. "You don't have to be scared anymore," he said. "This is your home now." She nodded, still unsure but calmer. That night, Ayan stood by the window of his apartment looking out at the city. Everything looked the same, the buildings, the lights, the people. But something had changed. He had found his family, in the most unexpected way. Yet one question still haunted him. Why did the mother never come to him for help? And who was the man claiming to own Gudia on the street? Something was wrong. Something didn't add up. There was a mystery waiting to be uncovered, and Ayan knew. This was just the beginning. The next morning, Ayan woke up early. He checked on Gudia, who was still sleeping peacefully in the guest room. She looked so calm now, holding a soft toy he had bought her the night before. For the first time, there was no fear on her face. But Ayan's heart was heavy. He couldn't stop thinking about the man who had been yelling at Gudia in the street. Who was he? Why was he treating her like a slave? Ayan decided to visit the area again. He dressed in simple clothes and returned to the narrow street where he had first seen Gudia. The food stall man recognized him. "Sir, you came again?" the old vendor asked, surprised. "Yes," Ayan replied. "I want to know about that girl, the one I took with me. Do you know where she lived?" "Who was that man screaming at her?" The vendor looked uncomfortable. "You shouldn't get involved, sir. That man is dangerous." "Tell me," Ayan insisted. The vendor sighed and pointed to a small, broken house nearby. "That's where she used to live. The man's name is Kalu. People say he found the woman, Gudia's mother, after she fainted near the railway station a year ago. She was sick. He took her and the girl in." But what?" Ayan leaned in. "He forced them to beg on the streets. The woman died 6 months ago. Since then, he used the girl to earn money, beat her when she brought back less." Ayan clenched his fists. His blood boiled. This was what his father's child had gone through. His own sister, used, abused, starved. "Where is he now?" Ayan asked, voice sharp. "He usually drinks at the tea stall in the evening," the vendor said. "But sir, please be careful. He's not right in the head." Ayan nodded and left. He had all the information he needed. Back at home, Gudia was awake and watching cartoons. She looked up at him and smiled. That innocent smile made his heart both warm and heavy. He sat beside her. "Gudia, I want to ask something. Do you remember someone named Kalu?" Her face changed. Fear returned. She nodded slowly. "He hit me if I didn't beg. Mama told me to run if anything happened to her." Ayan gently held her hand. "You Don't have to see him again, okay? No one will hurt you now. But deep inside, he knew this wasn't over. Kalu was still out there, and someone like him wouldn't let go easily, especially after losing the girl he used for money. That night, Ayan sat in his room thinking, I have to protect her, but I also need to know why my father never told me about her, and how Ronnie ended up on the streets. Then suddenly, he remembered something. His father's old will, locked in the family lawyer's office, had a second sealed envelope. Ayan had never opened it after his father's death because the first part already gave him everything. Now he realized. Maybe that envelope held the truth. Without wasting time, he called his lawyer and made an appointment for the next morning. But just as he ended the call, his phone rang again. Unknown number. He answered. A harsh voice spoke. Give the girl back or I'll take her. The line went dead. Ayan froze. Someone knew he had Gudea, someone dangerous. The next morning, Ayan didn't waste a second. He left Gudea in the care of his trusted housekeeper and rushed to meet his late father's lawyer. His heart was racing the entire drive. Give the girl back, or I'll take her, or I'll... The threat from the unknown caller kept echoing in his mind. When Ayan reached the lawyer's office, Mr. Sharma greeted him with surprise. You're here early, Ayan, the elderly man said. Everything all right? I need to see my father's second envelope, Ayan said firmly. The one we never opened. Mr. Sharma hesitated for a moment, then walked to his safe. He brought out a brown sealed envelope. Ayan's name was written on it in his father's handwriting. Ayan's fingers trembled as he broke the seal. Inside was a handwritten letter. Dear Ayan, if you're reading this, it means I'm no longer in this world. There's something I hid from you, not because I didn't trust you, but because I was ashamed of my past. Years ago, before I married your mother, I fell in love with a poor woman named Ronnie. We lived together for a short time, but my family didn't accept her. I was weak. I left her to marry into wealth. I never knew she was pregnant until much later, and by the time I found out, she had disappeared. I spent years searching for her and your sibling, but I never found them. If fate brings her back into your life, take care of her. She is your blood. I hope you can forgive my mistake. Your father. Ayan felt the letter shake in his hands. Tears filled his eyes. So it was true. Gudea wasn't just a random girl, she was his sister, his father's child, and his father had truly regretted the past. The lawyer looked at him. Are you all right, Ayan? I'm fine, he whispered, but I have work to do. He thanked the lawyer and left. Now everything was clear, except one thing. How did Ronnie and Gudea end up on the streets? Who betrayed them? Ayan returned home with a storm of thoughts. Gudea was playing with a doll in the garden, laughing for the first time he sat beside her. Gudea, do you remember anyone else apart from Kalu and your mama? She paused. There was one auntie. She used to come and give mama medicine. She had a big ring. Ayan frowned. Do you remember her name? Gudea shook her head. But Ayan had a strange feeling. A ring? There was only one woman he remembered from his father's past. A close friend named Madhu, who always wore heavy jewelry and once had a problem with his father's charity work. Could she be involved? He made a mental note to investigate her. But before he could do anything, the security guard rushed into the house. Sir, there's a man at the gate. He says he knows you. He's asking for the girl. Ayan stood up instantly. What man? He didn't give a name, but he looks drunk and angry. Ayan rushed to the gate and saw him. It was Kalu, the same man who had shouted at Gudea in the street. Kalu's eyes were red and his clothes were filthy. You think you're a hero? He yelled. That girl belongs to me. She's not your property, Ayan said calmly. She's a child, and I know who she really is. Kalu laughed. You don't know anything. That little rat made me money every day. You stole her from me. Before Ayan could speak, Kalu threw something at the gate, a bottle, and stormed off. It shattered on the road, but he shouted one last thing before disappearing. You'll regret this, rich boy. You don't know the whole truth. Jan stood there in silence. The threat was clear, and it wasn't over. Jan couldn't sleep that night. Every time he closed his eyes, he heard Kalu's voice. "You don't know the whole truth." And that broken bottle on the road, it wasn't just glass. It was a warning. He knew he had to protect Gudia no matter what, but now something felt incomplete. There was still one missing piece. Rani, Gudia's mother. Where had she gone? Why was Gudia digging the ground to bury her and her brother? Was Rani really dead? Jan decided to visit the slum where Gudia had lived. He took his driver, wore simple clothes, and arrived early in the morning before people could recognize him. The narrow lane smelled of smoke and sadness, but he kept walking until a woman sitting outside a broken hut looked up and whispered, "You came too late. Rani is gone." Jan froze. "You knew her?" The woman nodded. Her name was Shabana. She had been Rani's neighbor for years. She led Jan to the remains of a hut. "This is where Rani used to live," she said, pointing to the ashes. Jan felt his throat tighten. "So it's true. She died here?" Shabana looked away. "She died of sickness and hunger. The baby boy died a few days before her. She had no money for food, no help, nothing. Gudia used to sit by their side, waiting, crying." Ayan's heart shattered. "She buried them herself," Shabana added. "With her own little hands. No one came to help, not even that man Kalu, who used to call himself Gudia's uncle." Ayan clenched his fists. "Kalu. He used Gudia for begging, didn't he?" Shabana nodded slowly. "He beat her when she didn't earn enough, but Rani was too weak to fight back. She begged him to stop, but he didn't care. After she died, he kept Gudia with him." Ayan whispered, "Why didn't anyone help them?" Shabana sighed. "In these places, people are too busy surviving. Even if they want to help, they're scared." Ayan looked around. Broken homes, hungry children, tired faces. This wasn't just one story. This was reality. He handed Shabana some money, thanking her. Then he returned to his car with a heavy heart. In the car, Ayan stared at the city rushing past his window, so many people, so many forgotten stories. But he couldn't forget Gudia's. And he wouldn't. Back at home, Gudia was asleep in her room, hugging her new teddy bear. Ayan sat beside her and gently moved her hair from her face. "You're not alone anymore," he whispered. The next morning, Ayan made a decision. He visited his office and called a meeting. Everyone was surprised. Their serious, cold CEO looked different. He stood before his staff and said, "From today, our company is starting a foundation to support abandoned children, to help single mothers, and to stop the abuse of poor kids on the street." His team clapped. Confused but inspired, one employee asked, "Sir, what made you take this decision?" Ayan looked out of the window and said only one thing. "A small girl showed me the truth." But just when everything seemed peaceful, Ayan received a message from his lawyer. It said, "Urgent, come see me today. I found something about your father's past. It changes everything." Ayan's heart skipped a beat. He immediately left. For the lawyer's office. As he sat across from Mr. Sharma, the old man placed a small box on the table. "What's this?" Ayan asked. The lawyer opened it. Inside was a photograph, torn, old, but still clear. It showed a young Rani holding a baby, standing next to a man. Ayan's eyes widened. The man beside her was not his father. It was someone else. Someone Ayan recognized from the news. "Who is this man?" he asked slowly. The lawyer looked serious. "His name is Dev Malhotra, and he's one of the biggest businessmen in town. He might be Gudia's real father." Ayan felt the ground shift beneath him. "If that's true," he whispered, "then why did my father leave me that letter?" The lawyer paused. "That's the part we need to figure out. But one thing's sure, this story isn't over." Ayan stood up, his face calm but his heart burning. The real battle was just beginning, and this time, he wasn't just fighting for Gudia. He was fighting for truth. Ayan sat in his office holding the old photograph in his hand. Rani, a baby, and Dev Malhotra, one of the richest and most powerful men in the country. It didn't make sense. If Dev was Gudia's real father, why was she starving on the street? Why did Ronnie die alone? And why did Ayan's own father leave him a letter saying, "Protect the little girl. She is part of your destiny"? His thoughts were interrupted by a call. Mr. Sharma, the lawyer. "Ayan, I have something. I found Ronnie's hospital records. She was admitted once years ago, and she listed Dev Malhotra as the father of her child." Ayan's hands shook. This wasn't a guess anymore. Gudia was Dev's daughter, but Dev had denied her, left her mother to die, and let his own child beg on the streets. A storm burned inside Ayan. He knew what he had to do. That evening, Dev Malhotra hosted a charity event. All the media, politicians, and celebrities were there. Dev stood tall on the stage, speaking about helping poor children. Suddenly the doors opened. Ayan walked in, holding little Gudia's hand. All eyes turned to him. Dev's face froze. "Mr. Ayan?" the host asked. "You weren't invited." Ayan ignored them. He walked straight to the stage and picked up the mic. "I won't take much time," he said. "But there's a truth everyone here should know." He lifted Gudia in his arms. "This little girl is Dev Malhotra's daughter." Gasps filled the hall. Dev's smile faded. Ayan continued. "Her mother Rani died of hunger. She buried her own son with her bare hands, and this man," he pointed at Dev, "refused to accept them." Reporters started clicking photos. Dev stepped forward, trying to speak. "She's lying. I mean, he's lying!" That woman was. Ayan pulled out the hospital papers. Signed, stamped, proof. "You left your own child to die," Ayan said. "But she lived, and now I will raise her as my own." Tears rolled down Gudia's cheeks, not from sadness, from relief, from hope, from love. The crowd stood silent. Then slowly they clapped. Dev Malhotra tried to leave the stage, but the police stopped him at the exit. Mr. Sharma had already filed a case. Back at home that night, Ayan and Gudia sat on the balcony. The stars above sparkled quietly. "Do you miss your mother?" Ayan asked gently. Gudia nodded. "But I think she sent you," she whispered, "to be my papa." Ayan smiled. "No, Gudia, you saved me." She rested her head on his shoulder. "I never had a family," Ayan said, his voice low. "But now I do." She smiled sleepily. "You're my family too." Epilogue. 1 year later, Ayan's foundation had opened 3 homes for abandoned children, each named Ronnie Shelter, in memory of the brave woman who fought till her last breath. Gudia now studied in the best school. She smiled more, she laughed freely, and every night she sat with Ayan before bed and said, "Thank you for finding me," and he always replied, "No, Gudia, thank you for saving me."